EACC Math Lesson Number 2, Operations with Integers. The integers allow us to represent things like the height of a mountain. It's above sea level, so it's a positive 20,320 feet, or the depth of a valley, it's below sea level, negative 282 feet. The set of integers actually consists of 0, which is our origin, and then all these numbers in the positive direction, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, and all these numbers in the negative direction, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, and so on. Notice there aren't any fractions or decimals. When we add integers, if they have the same sign, just go ahead and add them together. For example, if I have 14 plus 6, those are both positive numbers, I just go ahead and add them together. If I had a negative 5 plus a negative 8, well, the signs are the same, so just add them together and keep it as a negative. So 5 plus 8 is 13, so it's going to be a negative 13. When the signs are different, all you have to do is, if they are different, remember to take their difference. In other words, if I have a negative 5 plus 12, these signs are different, so I take the difference. So what's the difference between negative 5 and 12? Well, the difference is 7 units, and whichever sign the biggest number has is the sign you'll keep in your answer. So since 12 was positive, my answer is a positive 7. So suppose it was 5 plus a negative 14. Well, the difference between 5 and 14 is 9, and since the 14 was negative, it's a negative 9. Okay, so when you're adding with different signs, you take the difference. So, as this young man has over here, in plain English, when the signs are the same, add and keep the same signs. When the signs are different, subtract and take the sign with a larger numeral. Okay, so our first one here, negative 9 plus negative 7, well, the signs are the same, so I just add them together and keep it negative. It's a negative 16. 21 plus a negative 5, well, they're different signs, so I take the difference, I subtract. So 21 to take off 5 is 16, and since the 21 was positive, our answer is positive. Adding more than one integer is not a problem, just go from left to right. Negative 2 plus negative 4 is negative 6. Negative 6 plus negative 1 is a negative 7. And the last group, 21 plus negative 8, well, I want the difference, so the difference between 21 and 8 is 13, and it's a positive 13, so now I have 13 plus negative 7, so the difference there is 6, and since the 13 is positive, it's a positive 6. Okay, subtracting integers, well, I would just go ahead and rewrite it as adding the opposite if you want to. In other words, if I have 3 minus 5, now a lot of you probably know that's negative 2 already, but if not, then write it as 3 plus adding the opposite of 5. Instead of subtracting 5, plus a negative 5, so we know we end up with a negative 2. 14 take away 27. Well, if you want to, you could rewrite that as 14 plus a negative 27. Take their difference, which is 13, and since the 27 was larger, then it's a negative 13. If the first number is larger than the second number, you don't even have to worry about that. 21 take away 5 is just good old 16. Okay, when we're multiplying, the key here to remember is if the signs are the same, you always get a positive answer. If the signs are different, you always get a negative answer. For example, negative 2 times positive 5 is negative 10. Since the signs were different, it's a negative answer. Negative 2 times negative 5 is a positive 10. The signs are the same. We always get a positive answer. Dividing, the same rule. If the signs are the same, you get a positive answer. If the signs are different, you get a negative answer. For example, if I had 24 divided by a negative 12, the signs are different, so I'm going to get a negative answer, and 12 goes into 24 2 times. Or if I have a negative 20 divided by 5, well, the signs are different, so I get a negative answer, which is negative 4. Or if I have negative 8 divided by a negative 2, the signs are the same, so my answer is a positive 4. Okay, so, signs different, answer negative. Signs the same, answer positive. And again, the little dude here is summing it up for us. In plain English, this means same signs. We get a positive product or quotient. Product means multiply, quotient means divide. Different signs, we get a negative product or quotient. So for practice, negative 3 times 4 is a negative 12. 12 divided by a negative 2 is a negative 6. Negative 5 times a negative 9 is a positive 45. Here we have more than one, so just take 2 at a time. Negative 3 times 8 is a negative 24, and then times a negative 2 gives us a positive 48. And the last one, here we're going to square negative 4 first, so that's going to give me a positive 16, and positive 16 divided by negative 8 is a negative 2. Okay, so again, quick review. When you're adding and subtracting, if the signs are the same, keep the same sign. If the signs are different, subtract them and then use the sign of the number most represented. In other words, they mean the bigger numeral. So here, 12 is bigger than 3, so our answer is going to be negative. Multiplying or dividing, signs the same, the product quotient is a positive number. If you have a different sign, the product or quotient is always a negative number. Okay, here's some problems to work through. If your teacher wants to stop the presentation for a second and let you do these on your own, that's fine. If not, in a couple seconds here, I'll start working through them. Okay, the first one, negative 7 plus 5. The signs are different. We take their difference, which is 2, and it's going to be a negative 2. Negative 10 times a negative 11, our answer is going to be positive since I have two negatives I'm multiplying, and that's going to be a positive 110. Negative 2 times 11 is a negative 22. 4 times 12 is a positive 48. Negative 11 plus 6, well, their signs are different, so I take the difference. The difference is 5, and the 11 was negative, so it's a negative 5. Negative 2 plus 8, that difference is 6, and the 8 was positive, so it's a positive 6. 9 plus a negative 2 is a positive 7. All right, here's something that we didn't talk about. This double negative here, 3 minus a negative 2. When this occurs, you make it plus plus. So this is the same thing as negative 3 plus 2. So if you have a double negative, you make that plus plus. So negative 3 plus 2 is a negative 1. Negative 45 divided by negative 5 is a positive 9. And 39 divided by negative 13 is a negative 3. Okay? All right. That's the end of our presentation. So if you have any questions, please let me know. If not, we'll talk to you later.